Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever found yourself staring blankly at a bibliography, totally paralyzed by the sheer frustration of academic formatting, well, you are definitely in the right place. Look, we all know referencing standard books and journals is tough enough, right? But referencing a patent? That often feels like trying to decipher some unforgiving ancient language designed specifically to torture researchers. That's because patents aren't just academic articles, they're incredibly complex legal instruments. But don't worry, today we're breaking down this intimidating rulebook into a clear, logical, and entirely stress-free system. Here's our roadmap for today. We've got 4 quick steps. 1. The core patent elements. 2. Handling Harvard variants. 3. Verifying the patent status. And finally, 4. Generating the final reference. Let's get right to it. Starting with Section 1, the core patent elements. Now, I want you to treat a patent record like a highly classified VIP. You can't just walk up to the velvet rope and say you know them. You need a very specific, meticulously detailed security dossier to prove to your readers that you actually accessed the authentic document. So gathering these 6 specific data points is your very first mission. A proper patent reference absolutely requires the inventor or applicant, the year, the patent title, the country or patent office, the patent number, and the specific publication or grant date. Missing even one of these, it literally breaks your citation. And to understand why this is so incredibly strict, you kind of have to think about how patents function in the real world. For instance, the country or patent office is absolutely crucial because patent rights are strictly territorial. A U.S. patent protecting a revolutionary new battery is a completely different legal entity than a European patent for that exact same invention. They have different jurisdictions, different examination histories, and completely unique identification numbers. So if you just give your reader the inventor's name and the title, you simply haven't given them enough clearance to find the actual legal document you're talking about. You've got to assemble the complete dossier. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the strict kind of dual life of academic referencing. Your bibliography, at the very end of your paper, yeah, that demands the full, rigorous security dossier with all 6 of those components. But your in-text citation, that plays by entirely different rules. When you're writing your actual paragraphs, you definitely don't want to bog down your reader's experience by throwing a massive block of patent numbers and publication dates right into the middle of a flowing sentence. To keep your research readable, you just use a quick name drop, the responsible name and the year. Think of it like a quick nod to the bouncer at the velvet rope, while the full dossier waits safely in the back. Full clearance data in the bibliography, simple name and year in the text. Moving on to Section 2, handling Harvard variants. Because, just when you think you have the magic formula completely locked down, institutional pedantry introduces variations. See, just tweaking a tiny detail creates an entirely different Harvard variant. Some variations of the style require placing the applicant before the inventor. Others might demand that you explicitly include the assignee, which is usually the corporation that actually owns the patent rights, right alongside the individual scientists who invented it. Now, why do these annoying differences even exist? Well, it's because different universities and different academic disciplines prioritize legal entities based on what matters most in their specific field. A business school is probably going to care a lot more about the corporate assignee, while an engineering department will prioritize the lead scientist. Because of this, you can never assume one size fits all. You must always cross-reference your specific institution's formally approved guidelines to see exactly which flavor of Harvard they demand. All right, Section 3, verifying the patent status. Honestly, this is the absolute most critical part of our whole explainer today, verifying exactly where your document lives in the legal pipeline. The thing you have to remember is that a patent is not a static document. It continuously evolves over time. You have to verify if you're looking at an initial patent application, a published application, or a fully granted patent. Why does this matter so deeply? Because the legal and technical claims made in a patent application are almost always narrowed down, amended, or even partially rejected by examiners over the years it takes to get approved. What is ultimately granted is rarely exactly what was initially filed. So if you cite a pending application using the date and identifier of the final granted patent from months or years later, your citation is completely factually incorrect. You are essentially referencing a legal status and a set of technological claims that literally did not exist at that specific moment in time. You always have to capture the document exactly as it existed when you referenced it. And during this phase, look, you might be super tempted to just copy and paste a link to Google Patents or whatever commercial database you used to find the document. Resist that urge entirely. Here is your golden rule. A database link is always secondary to the official patent record. Commercial search URLs constantly change. Databases reorganize their entire folder structures, and that leads to the dreaded link rot, where your citation suddenly gives a 404 error page. However, the official legal record, maintained by a government patent office, that remains permanent. Relying on the official numbers, dates, and jurisdictions rather than some fragile web address is what fundamentally guarantees your long-term academic integrity. Which brings us to the home stretch, Section 4, generating the final reference. Having gathered all our elements, navigated those tricky institutional variants, and rigorously verified the facts, it is finally time to assemble the product. But hold on, before we automate anything, mentally run through this strict verification checklist. I want you to treat this exactly like a pre-flight check for a pilot. Have you locked in the specific jurisdiction? Have you confirmed the exact patent number matches the document type? Is the official title accurate word for word? And crucially, as we just discussed, do you have the precise status pin down? Answering "I think so" just isn't good enough in academic research. Only when all of these individual elements move definitively from pending to verified in your own mind are you truly ready to generate that final citation. Okay, once everything is rigorously verified against the official record in Step 1, you can confidently move to Step 2 and leverage a dedicated tool like the Harvard Reference Generator at harvardreferencegenerator.co.uk. But always remember the golden rule of automation: garbage in, garbage out. A generator is only ever as good as the data you feed into it. It cannot magically correct a wrong publication date or fix a mismatched jurisdiction. But because you did the hard, manual work of verifying the jurisdiction, the number, the title, and the status yourself, the generator can now flawlessly format your perfect citation. It saves you a ton of time without sacrificing an ounce of accuracy. Because really, referencing isn't just about avoiding formatting penalties from your professor. It is entirely about historical accuracy. With identifiers and dates constantly shifting as a document moves through that complex pipeline from a hopeful application to a finalized grant, ask yourself, are you absolutely certain your reference points to the exact right moment in that patent's history? Challenge yourself to approach your next citation not just as a tedious chore, but as a rigorous exercise in precise verification. Until next time, keep digging deeper.